All right, let us start with our project now. So let's start building the components, and we will learn a lot of things while doing this project. Number one, we will create a new application page. So right now, as you can just see, we don't have an app page called Partner Management, which we will add it now, and then we will start adding code to our Lightning Web Components and ensure that the code or the Lightning Web Components can be used only in the new app page that we create. And of course, we'll create multiple components. We'll place one component inside another component, and then we will see how we can share data between the components, yeah, from parent to child, child to parent. And also we will learn how to make a call to an apex method, and then bring the data back to the lightning web component and use the same. you know we'll do that. Then most importantly, whatever components that we use or whatever design that we're going to do with, right, we're going to do, it's going to be completely responsive. Yeah, so there are lightning based components already available to help us in that regard. So we will just see how we can make that page responsive enough so that across devices, the page should work seamlessly without having any aesthetic or alignment issues. We will see how we can use that. Certainly we will use Salesforce's lightning design framework, which is a CSS framework from Salesforce. It's an open source CSS framework which we can leverage to our advantage, and then make the look and feel of our page better. So all these things we are going to do it in the first part of our project. So before we get started, in the previous video we did download all the we did import all the sample data, isn't it? But there was some duplicates because I ended up executing this import command a couple of times. So that's the reason we had duplicate records. So uh, what I did is I created another method, okay, and helper function called clean data, just in case if you run into any issues with the sample data being imported, right? What you can do is you can just simply run this command from your developer console, anonymous window, and then it will clean all the data. Okay, and then you can come back and then import the data again. So it's this is also added in the data fix class. Okay, so that I did it, and now the sample data looks clean. Yeah, except that there are few data points missing. One is the geolocation lat and long, and then the primary POC. Either I can manually add it, otherwise, I do have another method to fix this manually. So I'll do that. Okay, first, go to developer console, then debug anonymous window. Let's try to execute this. Of course, it's a success now. Let's close this one. Let's refresh this page. All right, as we refresh the page, we can see the geolocation added. Perfect. And we may manually access or maybe manually correct this partner POC. I realized that it don't add the code to automatically add this partner POC the in this update partner type. My apologies. So we can quickly add this. So let's map Peterson George as the primary POC for 6sense. For Adobe, it's going to be Adam Mary. For Amazon, this one, and for Cisco, and for demand base, and that's for the Google Cloud, it's going to be Lee Smith, and for MailChimp, this is for the Microsoft, Sultana Rishi, this is for Nix, and this is Oracle, and at last we have Salesforce. So that's it. I think our data is perfect now. So we got our sample data ready. All the data is appearing. Yes, good. I think the next step is going to create, we can create an app page, and then we can add our lightning components into the page and then start building. So the sample data is ready. Let's go and then add a new app page. I'll go to the setup first, and let's go to Lightning App Builder. So let's create a new app page. Next, and let's give a name partner management home, let's see, or let's say just partner management. Next, and let's have two regions. That should be fine in our case. Finish. All right. So now this is cool. This is done. And let's save the page. And first time we wanted to activate the page. So go to activate. All right. This is going to be the partner management. Icon is fine. Let's activate for all users. Lightning experience. Let's ensure that this is included in the partner management app. Yeah. So this is the one, right? So let's save this. Save again, and then let's go back. Good. Let's go to partner management app. Let's refresh the page. Yes, now I can just see partner management app. So this is where we are going to create all the or place all the lightning components, right? So before we move to the next step, let's take a step back and then see how the final project will look like. So this is how the final project will look like. Again, you will have an option to select the partner type, and accordingly, right? Accordingly, the list of partners will appear. You can just click on a particular partner to see more information about the partner. And as a sales team, uh, reviews sales team can put a review about the particular partner. So all such things can be done in this particular application. So uh, let's take a snapshot and keep it in our notes first. And then let's talk about the design, which is right here. Partner management app, part 1, components design. All right. So this is the part 1 of our application, which is this. This is part 1 of our application. So wherein we wanted to show a description about the partner app and an option to select and few quick options to do additional things in the application and the available partners. And as you can just see, each partner has a picture and then has got a company name, the name of the partner, and the type of the partner, technology, marketing partner, etc., etc. So this is what we're going to build in the part 1 of our project. And to get this thing done, to get the part 1 done, so we're going to build multiple components. So as you can just see, there are 4 components which we are going to build to get this part 1 project completed. Number 1, the master container. So this is more like, as the name indicates, it's a container component, which it's going to hold a couple more components. One is the partner search. So partner search component is nothing but, it will have this brief description about the app. I'm talking about this one. This is the um, partner search component. And then you will have a combo box or drop down to list all the channel partners. This one, and then this. And then you will have partner search result. So basically, as the partner type changes, we wanted to show the partners accordingly, isn't it? So the grid that you see, or the grid of partners that you see on the screen, it's going to be the code for this is going to be written inside this partner search result lightning web component. So that's what it is. And then and then you will create another component called partner card. So this is the uh, component that will have a placeholder to show a partner's POC image, this one, partner's image, and then a placeholder to show the company name, the name of the partner, and the type of the partner. So basically, we will create one Lightning Web component, and then we will try to replicate that component multiple times based on the number of partners available. So there are four components which we are going to create to get this part one completed. So let's get into the coding, and then let's start creating the component. So I'll go back to the code. Yes, let's try to create, or let's start with the master container. As we can see in our design, master container is the one that's going to hold partner search and partner search result components, right? So let's try to update the code of master container back in the base, back in our Lightning Web Component project. You can just see all the components already created, except that there is no code in it. You will see the HTML, JavaScript, and the configuration file. Everything is empty. So we will be start adding the code. So the one thing that we have to remember whenever we create a Lightning Web component, how do we create? Very simple. We can just go to the command palette and then open the command palette and then use this create Lightning Web component option. This will ask you to enter the name of the component, and when you enter the name of the Lightning Web component, you have to follow camel casing, right? Which indicates that the first letter should always start with the lowercase, as you can just see in this example, master container. So there are two words in it, master, and the word two is container. So the always starts with the always starts with a lowercase, and then each word should start with an uppercase, right? So master container is right here. You have partner search, yeah, and you also have partner search result. So master container, the HTML template is empty. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use lightning layout based component. So throughout this project, we will be using lightning web components as and when it is required. And then we will use Salesforce CSS framework for styling. So I'll go to the lightning components library, and we'll be using lightning layout. So view as lightning web component, because our one of the goals is to make our page responsive enough so that it can work across different layouts, be it desktop browser or mobile browser, tablets, etc. We wanted to ensure that our page works seamlessly fine, right, without having any alignment issues. So this is the best way to go with. We can use lightning layout. This is again a base component available in the lightning web component gallery. So this is pretty much what we are going to use it now. So I will start using this lightning layout. So this will create me a layout for the component, and then we have lightning layout item. So this is basically the column one. Think of a table that you are building, and then uh, you wanted to have two columns. Yeah. So this is my column one, and this is my column one. This is my column 2. Right, let's start with the master container.html. So back in the base code, you will just see all the components already created, but all the components are empty. You don't find any code written inside this HTML or JavaScript, etc. So we are going to write all the code. So one thing we should remember about creating Lightning components, one is how do we create? You can just go to the file menu and then go to view and then command palette and then look for create lightning web component option. So it will ask a name of the component. You can just punch in the name, but ensure that the name given follows camel case convention, yeah, which indicates that the first letter should start always with lowercase, and if you have more than one word in the file name, each word should start with the uppercase. For example, the master container, I do see two words. Master is word 1 and container is word 2. Since I have two words, the second word starts with an uppercase. So this is camel casing convention, but the first letter should always start with the lowercase, right? So remember that when you create Lightning Web Component. So the component has already been created. Let's try to add the code in it. So we wanted to use or drop both the components, right? Partner search and partner search result. So this is where, this is how you add a component inside another component. So back in the HTML, yeah. So I do have partner search. Let me just copy the name of the component. Yeah. So how do I refer a component inside another component? Very simple. We will simply follow kebab case naming convention and follow the HTML typical standards. So it starts with the namespace C hyphen. In our org, I don't have any customized namespace. So I'll go with the default namespace, which is C, stands for custom. So C is the default namespace followed by the component name, which is partner search. But I have to follow the HTML naming convention, which also indicates that each word should be separated by hyphen. In my case, partner is word 1 and search is word 2. And also there should not be any uppercase. So that's it. That's three, three principle, three key things that should we remember. One is we have to use the namespace. Number two, follow the kebab case, which is each word should be separated by hyphen. Then there should not be any uppercase. Yeah, that's it. So this is my first child component, right? Because I'm just using this component inside a master container. This is my first child component. I'll just use second child component right here, which is partner search result, isn't it? So let's go and then copy the component name and let's use this one. Again, follow the kebab case naming convention. Hyphen. Right, that's it. We are done. Component 2, follow kebab case convention, naming convention. That's it. Just remember this. You're all good. And let me just go to the HTML. And what I'll do is I'll just simply put a placeholder. It to implement partner search result. And also we'll do the same for partner search it to implement. Perfect. And back in the HTML, let's wrap this component inside a lightning card. Okay. And wherever possible, let's try to use lightning based components. I do have the gallery open already, so you can find all these components are available at our disposal. So the one that I'm going to use is a lightning card because I just wanted to show a nice background with the title, etc. So which I can readily build using lightning card based component. So I'm just simply going to use this one. So this is the one that I'm going to use. So the lightning component is right here, and yes, let's add this component or move this component inside this. So title for now, I don't need any title for this. But for the second component, let's try to add the title. And the title should be available partners because this component is meant to show all the available partners, isn't it? That's it. So let's right click, format document with HTML features, alignment is done. Perfect. Let's try to wrap this inside a div so that we can apply some styling to the div. Okay. Or before we do that, let's try to deploy this component and see how it looks. Yeah. So there is no code yet written. Fine. Let's go to the configuration file. Yeah. There are two things we remember when we come to the configuration file. One, this helps us to define how we wanted to use this component in our app, right? So the very first thing is we have to ensure that this component is exposed to true. Yeah, so that I can see this component back in the org. Number two, I can define the targets where exactly I want to use this component inside a record page or app page or home page or inside a flow screen or in the community portal. I can define the targets. So in our case, the it is very specific. We wanted to use this only in the app page. So let's ensure that the target is given. So once this is done, all we have to do is we can just go to the menu, go to view, and then go to command palette, and then deploy source to the org. You'll just see the changes are being deployed right in the below. Yeah, it says master container, right? So this is one way of doing it. Otherwise, you can just, select the folder, all the folders that you wanted to deploy. And in my case, master container is one. I'll just use control button to hold and then select the components, right click and then deploy. So this is another way to deploy the components as well. Okay. So whichever way it's convenient for you, you can just follow. Yeah, you can just see all the components right are deployed, right? Let's go back and then add the component back into the page. Let's go back to the org. Yeah, let's go to the settings, edit page. So I'm just going to add the component to the new app page that we created, the partner management, and right on the component section, you will find under custom category, you will find master container. So let us add that component. Let's refresh the page. I don't see the sections. Let's refresh the page. It should work. Now let's do this again. I'm back in the partner management, and this is where we're going to drop the master container, right? Let's go back to the settings and then click on edit page. And now under custom components, let's find master container and then drag and drop. Let's save this. Perfect. And yeah, let's go back to the page and then see how it looks. Good. I think, we have two sections now, right? The first lightning card will hold all the elements for partner search, and the second one, it's holding partner search result. All good. So let's try to, apply some CSS so that, both there is a space between both the lightning cards, correct? And also ensure that the components are not, completely aligned to the margin. Let's give some spacing to the margin as well. And this is where we will be using Salesforce's, SLDS framework, which comes really handy. SLDS margin medium. So you have a separate site where you can find all the CSS that is available in CS in our site in our Salesforce Lightning Design System. So by default, when you build a Lightning Web Component, certainly we can leverage the advantage of CSS framework. All we have to do is we just have to mention the right CSS. That's all it is. Salesforce will take care of everything for us, and that's precisely what we're gonna do it. Yeah. So let's go back to the code right here. And let's go to master container.html. Let's try to, change the look and feel of this page. So I'm going to introduce a div, and I'm going to use a class, CSS class, slds-var-margin. I'll say bottom small. And I'll use another div, and I'll have a class. I'll just use slds var m margin vertical. small. Yeah, if you're wondering what this particular class will do, don't worry, you can just go to this site, and then you can just search for it. That is one way of finding what exactly this will do for us. This particular CSS will do it for us. Or if you exactly wanted you to take to the right page, just go to Google and then just give this CSS, and the very first link takes you directly to that page. As you can just see, Control F, yeah. As you can just see, this will ensure that your element, is having some space or margin, right, left in the bottom. Yeah, so that it won't just stick to the bottom margin of the div. So there will be some space in it, and this is exactly what I want to do it. So back in our design, right, you just see both the div, both the components are just uh, kind of merged, right, each other. So we just wanted to give some space. So that's the reason I'm just using this, margin CSS to give some space to the bottom and the top. Okay. So I do have these two. Let's just try to bring this to here and bring the second one into this div. That's it. Let's get the alignment done. Perfect. Let's try to deploy and then see how the look and feel of our page is now. Yes, deployment is completed. Let's go back and then refresh the page. Okay, just in case, right? If you don't find this refreshed, or you don't see the latest code, appearing on your latest changes appearing, then you can just right click, go to inspect, press and then hold this refresh button for 2 seconds. You'll just see two more options. You can just empty your cache and hard reload. I can go with hard reload as well. So this will ensure that the changes, right, are getting reflected, because HTML, JavaScript, and CSS are by default cached by the browser. We just have to clear as the developer to see our new changes are appearing on the screen. Yeah, now you can just see this, right? There is a space between the two divs, right? Now we can focus further on and then implement partner search. All right, let's try to build our next component, which is partner search. So if we go back to the design, so this is our partner search, isn't it? There is a description about the app, and there is a placeholder to show the list of available partners and the three actions, correct? So let's see how we can further build this one. So let's go back to partner search. Yeah, the HTML. Let's have a description first added. So this is our app description. Yeah. So I have the description already available in my notepad. Let me copy and then paste it right here. So this one will give me the description. Or what I can do is, instead of just hard coding the description right in the HTML, I can do this. So I'll bring partner search JavaScript right here. Then right click, split this to the right. So I can just see both, side by side. I'll create a property. I'll just say this is my app description is equal to, within single quotes, I just have the entire string stored, isn't it? And back in this template, what I would like to do is I can just simply use a p tag, a paragraph tag, and then bind that property. That's it. Pretty cool, right? So now the next thing, I just want to have um, a combo box. Yeah, channel partner combo box. All right. How do I create a combo box? Again, I don't have to do anything from the scratch. I can go to the gallery and then have a look if there is a combo box option available. Yes, that is one. Let's try to use this combo box. And yeah, so what we can do is we can just simply copy and then get the code, copy paste the code, and then further fine tune the code according to our need. So let me just copy entire code and then put it right here. Back in the JavaScript, I do have JavaScript. Let me just add that right here. Yeah. So looks like now I have the combo box added and also I have the channel, I have the description added. So let's bring other items as well. For example, let me wrap this inside a div for a moment so that later when we just apply CSS, we can able to focus on these elements and then add them. All right, and also let's do this. Let's have this fine and let first right click format document. So the alignment is corrected. Good. Let's have another div inside which we're going to add the actions. Action icons. Looks like there are three icons, right? Back in our design, right? The three icons. So how do I build this? Again, we can go back and then leverage our base components. There is something called button icon. So where I can just show a button with an image on it. Let it load. Yeah. So this is what I'm talking about. So you can just see this, right? Exactly. This is what I have just used in the, I'm just going to use in the code. So let's do that. So this is our button icon and let me just copy this and then go back to my code. So this is my first button icon. Yeah. I want to give uh, icon name. So where does this come from? So the Salesforce CSS framework, the default CSS framework, SLDS, Salesforce Lightning Design System, it gives you a lot of options. One of the options is icons. So as you can just see right in the Lightning Design System page, you will find a lot of icons for us to use it. So uh, these are the icons that I can use it directly in my code. So the way how I refer these icons, it's very simple. Each icon is categorized under a category. So you will find all these icons, under the category utility and the name of the icon. So back in your code, if I just wanted to use this activity, what I will do is I'll just use utility hyphen activity. So that's what I will do it. So in my case, or in our case, right, we just wanted to use a colored icon, isn't it? So which you can find it right under the category action. So if you just scroll down, so you will find standard icons, you will find custom icons, and then you will also find actions. You can find this right here, right? So the one that we're going to use is this add relationship. So it comes under the category action. So I'll go back to the code. I'll just say instead of utility, I'll just say action. Under action, I'm just going to instruct Salesforce to bring this icon. That's it. Okay. And yeah, that's the icon. And alternate text for now. The variant is brand. I just wanted to give. And alternate text, I'll just say add new partner type and then I'll give the same name as title. Okay, and again, if you would like to know more details about what each of these parameters will do, variant, icon name, alternate text, title, etc. So we can simply go back to our gallery, right, where you have a complete documentation written. And then if you go to specification, you will just see all the attributes that are supported for this tag lightning button icon. And you can just find this here, right? This is a required attribute, and this is where you can mention the icon name from the lightning design system. I used variant, yeah. So you can just see accepted values of these variants, right? Their container, brand, etc., etc. So based on this variant, the color of the color of the icon gets changed. So what else I use? I used alternate text, right? So this is used to describe what an icon will do, and also the the text to display, right? When I take my cursor over to the icon. For example, if I go back here, so this is the actual project, right? You can just see when I take my cursor over here, it just shows, the tip, right? What exactly and what exact action that it will do. So add partner type. When I click, I want to see a pop-up gets opened, right? A standard page that helps me to create a new partner type. When I click here, I want this to open a standard, account create page. So these are the actions that needs to happen. We will write the code for that. But before we do that, so we're just building these icons, right? So fine. This is the first icon that we're going to add for the art partner type. So let's go back to the code and then further add the other two icons. I'll copy this. I'll just put it right here, right? The three icons that I wanted to uh, add. So the first is add partner type. The second one is adding an account, isn't it? Add new account. So let's add that. And this one is add new partner contact. That's it. The three buttons, button icons have been added. And let's change the utility. Let's change the icon name. For add new account, let's go to the icons. And for new account, let's search for account. Yeah, I do see a but icon under the category action, right? So I'll go back to the code and simply add the name of the icon. And then for context, let's see if there are any icons related to contact available. Looks like there is a new contact icon available under the same category action. Done. So that's it. Icons have been added and there is a combo box and there is an app description, right? Let's deploy this component and then see how it looks. Then we can further fine tune this component. So command palette, deploy this to org. And one thing, right, if you could note, I did not expose this component. I exposed only the master container which is holding this component, right? So when you add a component, when you have a component added inside another component, the parent component's configuration will be used by the child components, and that's the reason we defined the master container, or we set master container exposed as true. All right, and this gets applied to the child component, both partner search and partner search result. You don't have to explicitly expose these components. Yeah, just remember that point. Your parent components configuration gets applied to your child components. Yeah. So let's now the deployment has just been completed. Let's go back to the page and refresh. Again, if you don't find your page, reflected with the new changes, just try to clear the cache. Again, as a developer, you have to do this, not, and it does not affect your end user. It's not something that end user needs to do. Only us as a developer at the time of creating the application, right? We wanted to see our changes reflected immediately. Just get the cache cleared. Okay, good. So now I see the things have been added, right? The elements or the components, the new elements have been added. There is a element, paragraph element shows the description. There is a combo box shows, a list of items, and there are three icons, right? So perfectly fine. Now we have to spend a little more time to change the look and feel of this page, right? And then focus more on getting this channel partners populated. Yeah. So let's first spend time on changing the look and feel of the application, for which we are going to use something called lightning layout and lightning layout item. So these two, base components, we are going to use it because one of the goals for us to, to ensure that this application works seamlessly across devices, irrespective of desktop or mobile or a tablet, right? So this one lightning layout and lightning layout item will ensure that the page works across devices seamlessly. So basically it uses responsive, grid system behind the scenes. It uses right classes that will automatically adjust based on the size of our the height and width of the device. So this is, what we're going to use it. Very simple to use. So let's go back to the page. So if you look at this, right, this is how uh, we wanted our page to appear, right? We need to have two columns. The first column should show the description. The second column should show the combo box, and then in the first row, right, in the second column, the first row, and then you will have in the second row all the three icons. So how do I build this? So we can use lightning layout. Yeah, the nested lightning layout is what we are going to use it, okay, to build this one. So let's go back to our partner search. Let's focus on this HTML. Yeah, so let's introduce lightning hyphen layout number one. Yeah, so this is for the first column, column one, and what we can do is can just say lightning hyphen layout item. Yeah, and for column two, let's add another lightning layout item. So the first column will certainly take the description, isn't it? The description, this one. So inside which I'll create another lightning layout. All right, I'll create another lightning layout here, and I'll have another lightning layout item. Let's do this. Yeah, and what we can do is probably we can have the columns right here. Column 1 is right here, and we will have column 2 moved from here to here. Yeah, so as you can just see, it is possible to create nested lightning layout as well. So inside the column 1, let us all right, let's summarize what we have done. So we have just introduced lightning layout and then a lightning layout item. Basically, it creates a column, right? Inside which I'm just creating another lightning layout, right? So it indicates that we can create multiple lightning layouts. Basically, we are constructing, a grid or a table for our page, correct? So column one, this is where, this app description will go. I'll just move this code right here. Right click, format document with HTML features. Now you can just see this, right? The description is right here. And the column 2 is where I'm going to add the combo box and the buttons. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to introduce another lightning layout so that I get, you know, both the combo box and this action icons, are added. So fairly simple. Let's introduce lightning. Let's copy lightning layout and add this one right here, and then let's add lightning layout item, add right here. So done. So inside which, let me just remove the additional or the extra tag. Perfect. So now we can have the component, or can have our combo box and combo box moved into this lightning layout, and then we can also have our div icons, action icons moved right into this lightning layout item. Perfect. So this is cool. Let's first right click and then format document with HTML features. Cool, all great. So now, we just added everything inside the lightning layout, right? It is time for us to add the appropriate classes so that you will just see the styling done for this lightning layout. Number one, so this lightning layout, I would like to ensure that this is arranged, center horizontally. So I'll have this attribute horizontal align added, and then we'll have padding given so that the elements inside this lightning layout will have some space around it. So horizontal hyphen small. Again, if you would like to know what this particular attribute will do, as I said earlier, you can just always go back to the documentation, write it in the gallery, look into the specification, you will just see the attributes, what each one will do. Further details, you will find it in the documentation as well. Yeah, so pretty cool. Let's go back to our code. So lightning layout item, you have this padding around small is also given. And also you can just set the size of your, column, width of your column, fixed or auto flexible. So in my case, I'm going to set the fixed size as 6. Okay, so this is cool, and let's do the same for, maybe I'll apply the 6 right here, because right now here is just one column, right? This is the first column. So I will go back to this, and I will ensure the size is given 6. Okay, why it is 6? Because if you look at this, the design, all right, so we have two columns, the first column and the second column, right? If you use grid system, imagine that you have or probably, right, imagine that you have this entire space available, of which I want to divide, the space into two equal halves, right? In grid system, the the entire block is divided into 12 sections, of which I want to allocate 6 for showing the description, and the remaining 6 to the show the combo box and the action icons. So that's the reason I'm just going to divide this entire grid system of 12 into 2, which is 6 and 6. So for the first column, it's going to be 6. For the second column, it is going to be the 6. That's it. I think pretty much, we are done. And right. So let's first try to deploy this and then see how the look and feel is, then further fine tune. Okay, let's deploy this to org, and let's go back to the org and right click, inspect. Let me just hard reload so that it will clear my cache and then bring the latest changes. Now this is, perfect, right? Right here. Hmm? I can just see there is a spacing from the margin, and I can just see the description appearing fine. I think I have to focus on this column 2, right, where I just wanted to ensure that this is arranged or aligned properly. Okay, let's focus on that. So let's go back to this code, and yeah, so we wanted to focus on the column 2, right? So all right, so this is my second layout item. I'll probably give the size. Let me just, column 2 is right here. Column 1, did we give padding? Yes, we did give padding. For column 2, we are giving padding, and then size to true, size to 6. That is fine. And this one, the lightning layout, so we'll ensure that vertically all the elements, are arranged. So we wanted to show this on the top, and right below, you wanted to vertically arrange all the action icons, right? So that's the reason I'm just adding vertical align attribute, and then also saying that it has to be aligned center, right? And then let's ensure that there is a space given to all the be given to, these two elements, combo box and the action icons. So we do have this lightning layout item, and what I'll do is I'll just say padding is equal to, we'll get some space, equal to SLDS hyphen var hyphen, or let's give margin around is medium, and also let's add another class around hyphen small, so that will do. And I would like to give a size 12. So basically inside this, inside this space, I just wanted this component to take the entire space 12. So that's the reason I'm just giving, the size as 12. I'm going to repeat the same for the icons as well. So let's see what happens first, and then we'll just make changes. And I have a div, so let's try to give some space as well. Class equal to SLDS hyphen var hyphen uh, p tag hyphen around small. Let's add this to this div. And also we'll ensure that this is um, all these icons are aligned, absolutely center. So for which we do have another class, align class, which I can use, absolute center. Cool. And what else? Copy. And between the icons, we wanted to give some space. Let's try to deploy the changes and then see how the look and feel is. Then we can further fine tune. Okay, the deployment has just been completed. Let's right click, inspect. Let's go here, hard reload. Good, now we can just see this, right? This is pretty cool. Only thing is we just have to ensure that the icons are properly spaced. Let's focus on icons then. So this is our lightning button icon, right? Let's try to add the CSS class for this. So let's wait for this to add. So we have this around small, fine. Let us also ensure that. All right, let's add some class. So we have to give some margin, both all the three icons are just, overlapping, right? Or there is no margin. So SLDS hyphen var hyphen margin m. Let's see what options we have. So you have margin around small, medium, etc. Do I have margin left? Yes, I do have margin left, small or medium. Let's give. Okay, let's do the same for the next item as well. Good. Now let's try to deploy the source. Perfect. Let's go back and then refresh the page. First, refresh the page. If it doesn't reflect the new changes, then we can clear the cache. Good. Looks like our changes are getting reflected. So now we can just see the look and feel, right? When we started, this is not how it was, correct? So then we slowly developed our code, and then we applied, we made use of Salesforce's Lightning design system, right? And then we used Lightning based components, correct? So together, now you can see how the look and feel has changed, right? Now we can focus on changing the combo box because we wanted to show all the list of partner types, right? So basically these are the partners we wanted to bring and then bind it to the drop down number one, correct? So let's see how we can do it, and then we can focus on adding the functionalities for each and every button onto this partner search component. Yeah. All right. So before we move forward, let's take a step back and then see what we did so far. We managed to create an application page, isn't it? Named Partner Management. And we managed to add components in it, right? So far we added 4 components, isn't it? So we created Lightning Web Components and we ensured that it can be used only in the application page. How did we do it? We used the configuration file, right? And we managed to
set the targets, right? We exposed it to true so that it can be used in the org. Number two, we managed to give the target as application page, which means this particular Lightning Web Component can only be used in the application page, not anywhere else. So we did that. We added nested components, yes, back in the master container. We did add other components, right, as child components, partner search and partner search result. We did that, correct? And remember, we followed the kebab casing naming convention as well. That we did. And also, we are going to learn this decorators now, or we're going to use decorators now. And also, we used base Lightning Web Components that helps us to make our page responsive in nature, right? So we applied that in partner search HTML, where we use lightning layout, right? It uses behind the scenes grid system which divides the page, right, into in equally, 12 parts. And we use the size attribute to say, okay, my column needs this fixed at 6 size, and the other off, will take the remaining size, which is 6. So I can set the size, fixed size, using this property, right? So this way I can able to set my page, responsive enough to access both in desktop, or rather, right, across devices, desktop, tablets, mobile browser, etc., etc. So, and then, wherever needed, we are using a Salesforce Lightning Design System, right? And then we are applying the right CSS classes to ensure that look and feel of our application, right? It's great. So going forward, we're going to focus on building this combo box, and also we'll introduce some additional code to get this get an action created for these buttons. Okay. So talking about this combo box, right? So very simple. Uh, Let me just put this on the right so that we can just cross check the code side by side. Yeah. So as you can just see, there is a property called options, and it has an array of objects, label and a value. And this is what it's getting, binded to the combo box. So if I change this to something else, let's say tech partner, let's say Tech partner, let's say this is as, legal partner. So when I change the label, okay, this is what I will just see on the screen, but behind the scenes, I can have this value used for other operations, especially when sending data to the backend, right? So X113. So I just made a change in this in the options, and then let's deploy and then see what happens in the page. So go back to the org, refresh. I think it is cached. Let's remove the cache. Hard reload. You can just see this, right? Tech partner, martech partner, etc., etc. So we know that now an array of objects is what we have to pass it on to the combo box to get it, to get it bind it to the combo box, right? So one thing, whenever you use combo box, right, we have to remember this. If I go back to the combo box example, yeah, if you go back to the specification for once and then take a look at this attribute options, which is the mandatory or required one, right? It clearly says that each option or each item that gets binded to the combo box should have the following attributes: label and value. That is what you are seeing on the code, label and value. If you change this to something else like this, right? Let's see what happens. Let's deploy the source and then see what happens to the output. So let me refresh the page. And you can see an empty combo box, right? So we have to be very careful when we work with combo box. Ensure that this this the keys are label and value. So this is important because the next step that we are going to do needs a little additional coding before we bind the data on the on the screen. And this is what we just did. So when you work with combo box, ensure that each option has this label and value as keys. Okay, so what is the next step that we are going to do? We are going to bring data from the database, for which we need data, we need to write an apex method. The reason is I want to bring all the channel partners right here, right? So how many partner types I have? I have 8 partner types. So I need to query partner types custom object, get all the data, and then bring it to the screen, and then bring it to the component, and then bind it to the combo box. So these are the steps that I need to do, right? So for which we need to write an apex method. So the two things we should remember when we write apex method. One is ensure that Aura enabled annotation is used for an apex method to use in Lightning Web Component, and also set cacheable equal to true. So if we go back to our code, I do have a class file. So this is what it's indicated right in the notes. So I have a static public method. So this is going to, make a call to an SQL query, and then this will simply get the ID and name of the partner types, ID and name, and that is what return back to the caller. So this is a simple Apex method, right? And this is important. So unless you say explicitly annotate the method as Aura enabled, you cannot use it in Lightning Web Component. Okay. So how do I use it in Lightning Web Component? Let's see how do you do that. So back in the search, there are 3 steps involved. One is we have to import wire decorator. Then we have to import the Apex method that we just created, and we have to make a call to the method, then process the output. The output could be either having data from the database, or it could turn into error, right? So we do have an explicit system properties called the data and error to make it available for us. Okay, so let's go to the step 1. So right here, import the wire decorator, and step 2, import apex method, which is also fairly simple. We do have modules written in the Lightning Web Component engine. So I'm going to give an alias name. Fetch partner type is the alias name. From within single quotes, I'll use @apex slash. See, I can get the partner search. This is the name of the class file, and this is the method name, right? So this way I can able to import the apex method. That's it. And then the step 3 is this. I will make a call to an apex method using @. Yeah, step 3, import wire decorator, import apex method, and make a call to the method using @wire. So this will take the apex method as the first parameter, and the second one takes any arguments that we need to pass to the apex method. In our case, there are no parameters. We need to bring all the partner types, right? So I'm not going to give any parameters or pass any parameters to the method. Okay, and as you can just see, I'm just referring fetch partner types, which is the alias name or friendly name. So uh, whatever the name that you have given in the import, yeah, just ensure that that is given here, and then let's process the output. So I wanted to assign the output of this wire method uh, you know to a function, and this function as will take error and data system properties, as I said earlier, right? So when you make a call to an apex method, two things can happen: either it returns a data or error. And the Lightning Web Component engine, as default system properties with the name data and error. Data will hold the records that are being retrieved from the database, and error will carry any data just in case if the call did not work, right? So let's try to get the data printed back and then see what happens. Okay, partner types. I'll just say plus JSON dot stringify, because it's going to return me bunch of records in the collection. So I'm just going to stringify the collection so it just appears on the screen. Else, if in case of error, I would like to show the error on the console for me. Console.log. I'll just say error. So let's get the error printed. So from the property, we have body dot message. So that's it. So pretty much we are done. So let's try to Save the file and deploy this to the org and run. Let's see what happens. So we'll go back to the page. Let's refresh. Okay, once this is refreshed, let's go to inspect. Let's go to console. And do we see any data returned? Let's try to clear the cache and then try. Click and then hold refresh for a moment and then do a hard reload. Yes, you can just see this, right? This is the data coming in from the database, correct? So again, it is an array of objects, and each record is it's denoted, right, or it's an object right here, right? So in the SOQL query, we are retrieving ID and name, so that's why you see ID as a key and the value, name as a key and the value. So basically, the field name that we use in our SOQL query will automatically turn into a key, and the value that is coming from the database becomes the actual data. Yeah. So now this is where we have to think. So we know that if I just change, if I just simply try to bind this, it won't work, right? Because the key is different. If I want to bind this data back to the HTML, it has to be a label, and it has to be the key has to be label, and this key has to be value, correct? So let's write a bit of JavaScript, okay, and quickly turn this into the format that is required for the combo box. So let's go back to the code and let's introduce a new property, partner types, whole data, all partners to bind in combo box. Yeah, that's it. So what I'll do is I will go right here. I'll just say this dot partner types is equal to. Let me create an array. Okay, and the very first object that I want to use is label, and the label will have let's say select partner type. So that's the label, and the value will be empty. Perfect. Now I want to loop through data and change key object keys. Okay, very simple to do it. So we will be using data dot for each. Yeah, that's the syntax for each, and for each item what we are going to do is let's create a object with the name partner type is equal to it's an empty object, and so create a key with the name label, which will be equal to the item dot. So basically it is carrying the name, right? That's the If you go back to the console, so this is what, I'm just going to take it back, take the value from here. Yeah, take this, put it right here. Similarly, I want to set the ID, oh sorry, value of the partner type object, which is item.id. So basically this is what I'm referring to. So that's it. Now we have this temporary, right, object created. Let's try to add this temporary object into partner types dot push of partner type. That's it. So now you will just see after this loop runs, you will just see all the partner types right here, with the proper uh, change in the keys. So let's see how it works. So let's try to print. So we'll just say before and after and see what difference we're going to see. So this is the data that is coming from the database. And once this is modified, I'm just going to print it. Okay, I'll just say after json.stringify. Let's print this dot partner types. Let's deploy the code and then see what happens. Let's go back and let's refresh this page. right? Let's go to inspect and then look at the console once. I think the code is not yet refreshed. Let's clear cache and then reload. Right, let's right click, go to inspect and then look at the console one more time. Now we can just see this, right? So this is the actual data that we received from the database, and this is how it will look like now, right? Because we did write a small JavaScript, right, to change the key, correct, from this to this. So now the data is in the right format that combo box can accept. So I think now let's try to simply bind this data. Let's go back to the code. Just remove the code that is no longer needed and back in the HTML. Let's ensure that the option attribute it's taking the value from partner types. That's all it is. And placeholder, let's say select partner type because I would like to see partner type appearing here. Select partner type instead of in progress. So I just use placeholder as select partner type and I'll give name as well select partner type. That's it. And now let's try to deploy this code and then see how it's going to look like. Let's go back and let us refresh. Now you can just see this, right? All the data is coming from the database, right? So tomorrow if I add a new partner type, so again that partner type will just start appearing in the dropdown. So because the data is coming from the database, correct? So pretty much we managed to get the data from the database, right? And then bind it to the combo box, base component, right? So I think the next step is we would be focusing on giving functionality or adding functionalities to all these buttons. So for which we will use, navigation mixin service and then we'll move forward. So yeah, let's focus on the next thing, which is our navigation mixin service. Yeah, now let's implement the functionalities for all the three lightning buttons that we added on the screen. So the idea is when the user clicks on this particular button, we just wanted user to navigate to the create page where user can add a new partner type. So basically, this is the standard page, isn't it? That helps user to create a partner type. So for which the user has to go to this tab and then create a new partner type, isn't it? And if the user wants to create a new account, he has to go to this account tab and then click on the new button, and then it just opens up the create account standard page, correct? So instead of making user to go to each and every tab to create new records, what we wanted to do is we wanted to enable users to directly access the standard pages from by just clicking on this button right within the application partner management application. So this is what we're going to do it. So let's take a look at it, how we planning to design it. So from the design standpoint, we are planning to use navigation service. So in Lightning Web Component Framework, whenever there is a need to redirect user or navigate user to a standard page or to a record page or to a list page or even to an external web page, we can use navigation service, right? So that is available out of the box in our LWC framework. So how do we use it? Simple three steps. Number one, always we do it. We just have to import navigation mixin class from the Lightning navigation module, and then we just have to apply that component to the base class Lightning element. Then we can access all the methods that is written inside the navigation mixin, and we will be using navigate method to say that this is the page that I would like to take the user or navigate the user to, or this is the web page or external web page that I would like user to navigate to. So such things we can able to configure, and we can use navigate method to make a call. So simple three steps. Let's move forward and then quickly build this one. So let me go back to the code and let me go to the partner search JavaScript. Yeah.
and let's import navigation mixin, from, so we do have a module named lightning slash navigation. Okay, this is the module. This is the first step. So we just have imported navigation mixin class, and then we have to apply that class to the components base class, which is the components base class is lightning element, isn't it? So I will apply that component, the class to components base class. This is how we do it. So once this is done, right now I can able to access any methods and properties from both these classes, from navigation mixin and also from lightning element. So let's move forward and then write additional code. So this is our second step, and let's go ahead and then create. Um, so I'll introduce a new method. So open new partner type standard page. So that's the name of my method. And then, so what I would like to do is I just wanted to create an array that takes all the input parameters, and then we can just pass on that input parameter to the navigation mixin navigate method. So configure input param. So we'll just say constant this input param is equal to. So this is going to be a JSON object, and it takes the first key is the time. So I have to instruct the engine, Lightning Web Component engine, that okay, I would like to open a standard object page, and then I can just add additional attributes. So this is another, another JSON object, JavaScript object, and I have to say that when a standard object page is opened, I would like to open that in new mode, and then I would like to open the standard page of this particular object. I can mention the API name of the object. For example, in that case, right, I just wanted to open partner type, isn't it? So the API name of the object is partner underscore type um, underscore C. That is it. So this is the input params, and then we can simply use navigation mixin class, and then inside which we do have method navigate. We can just simply pass the parameters. That's all it is. So now I can make a call to this particular function from the HTML. So write in the HTML, this is partner type, right? So let's see what we have right here. Okay, so we wanted to run this particular piece of code when the user clicks on the button, right? So on click event, I would like the system to run the code that is written inside this function. So that is corrected. Yeah, perfect. So now that's it. We are done. Let us go to the code, right click, deploy source to org. See what happens. Good. Now the component has just been deployed. Let's go back to the page. Let's refresh. Let me just click on this button. And now as you can just see this, right? It just opened the standard page that helps me to create a new partner type, isn't it? So that's how we can use navigation service to, to navigate user to any page for that matter. So let's replicate the code and then implement the functionality of these two
buttons as well. So let me go back to the code. Let me simply copy this one, and this one is to open new account, and this one is to open new contact. So I'll just indicate the object name as count, and I'll indicate the object name as contact. That's all it is. Now I'll just bind this function to the HTML. So let's try to do the same. Right, let's try to bind this. So on click, we would like to make a call to this method, to accounts, right? Open account standard page. Let's do the same for the next one. So the third one is to open contacts page. That's it. So we are done. Let's try to deploy the code to the org. Good. Now it has just run successfully. Let's go back and then refresh. So let's click on this. Yes, now I can just see the new account standard page is opened, and this one will open the new contact page. So I can just use this one to create a new partner contact and then move on. So pretty much we are done with our partner search component. So we will be focusing on building other two components, partner search result and partner card. So if you just go back to the design, right, we will be building these two components now, search result and partner card. Let us start with partner card, then we can shift our focus to partner search result.
Yeah, so now we are going to build a partner card and partner search result. So we'll just first start creating a partner card. So this is what high level we are going to do it, and we will learn components communication. We will use components communication when we build partner card and partner search result components. So this card, if we just go back to the design, high level design, these are the things that we're going to do it. Okay, so we will be using @API decorator, and we will use expose a public property in partner card, and then we'll make partner search result to pass the data. If you just go back right here, right? So the idea is the partner card is going to be a single component that can be reused. The reused, let's say there are 10 partner channel partners, then for each channel partner we simply use the same partner card, right, and then replicate the card with different data, from each partner. So that's the idea. So we will hand over bringing the channel partners data from the database, to the partner search result. And once the partner search result has all the channel partner details, then it can replicate multiple partner cards. So we will just see how it is done, but to start with, let's build a partner card. Okay, and then we'll just see how partner search result can send the data back to the partner card. Okay, so that's why we use API decorator. So let's move forward and then start building the code. So back in the code, yeah, so this is our partner card, and we have a CSS file, HTML file, empty HTML file, JavaScript, and a meta XML. So the CSS file contains a few custom CSS properties, style. There is something for anchor tag, and a few other things. Let's see how we can use it. Yeah. So let's go back to the HTML. Let's start building a nice design for the card. Yeah. So to start with, let's use a div, and let's have a placeholder to show an image. Yeah, so there is a placeholder to show an image, and then let's have a placeholder for showing the partner company, partner name, and also the type of the partner. Yeah, so let's have an image, and then let's have another div, So this will show, let's use a header tag, and then inside which I'm just going to give a title equal to company. Just, yeah, this is for the company. And then let's use a paragraph tag here. And yeah, so this is where we're just going to show the company name. Okay, I'll just keep a placeholder. And what else? This should be fine. And then let's do the same for partner name, partner POC name rather, partner POC name. And then so we'll have another div. So otherwise these two should, mm, I don't need this div. Let's have another div. So this div we can use it show. Let's use a lightning badge. Yeah, and then so I'll give a label. I'll just say label is equal to, I'll say tech partner. I'll just hardcode this now. Okay, that's it. All right. So this is the lightning badge. Good. So image source, right? So if we go back to the project, we wanted to show, yeah, we wanted to show, images, right, of each partner. So right now we are not going to store a partner image in the org. Instead, we can make use of an open API. So it is called random user or random me. Let me just go to that random me. So it's a random user.me. It's an open API, and you can use this API for generating random data, user data. If you go to the documentation, so what you will find it is there are three links. For example, if I want to generate a random image for a you know um, for example, you can just see this, right? Portraits men slash there is a number. If I just put a random number, I get a simple image. And if I just put some another number, right, I just get another random image. It just works for women as well. So women, okay. So I just put some other number. Let's say I take this. Yeah, I get a different image. So I'm just going to make use of this open API. Yeah, and then try to show random images, for each partner. Yeah, so instead of storing the partner users actual photo, I just wanted to do this in this use this random user.me in the project. Yeah, so for example, this time I'll just use this hardcode this for now. Okay, later we'll change it. Okay, so we got the image and the placeholder for company name, partner POC name, and the lightning badge, isn't it? So let's try to deploy this first. Okay, let's try to deploy this and see what happens. So let me also cross check if partner's card is already been added to partner search result. Let me cross check. No, I don't think so. So let's do that. Let's add the child component. So in our case, it is partner card, right? So as per the HTML standards, I have to use kebab naming convention for the custom elements. So it is partner hyphen card. Okay. So the C stands for it's a custom, it's a custom component, isn't it? So this is the namespace. Yeah, it indicates that since I don't have a separate namespace defined or configured in the org, I'm just going with a default namespace, which is C hyphen, then the name of the component. And I have two words, partner and card. So I have to follow kebab case where I use hyphen as a delimiter, right, to just uh, between two words, correct? So we have this partner card added. Cool. So far, so good. Let's try to deploy this and then see how the component looks. Okay, then we can later change the look and feel. So it's getting deployed. Let's wait for the deployment to complete. It is done. Let's go back to the page. Let's refresh and see what happens. Okay, I don't see any data. Why is it? Let's try to clear the cache and then see. Yeah, let me try to redeploy this again. Partner search result and partner result. I'll choose both the components and deploy source to org. For some reason, the previous deployment, just deployed partner search result. I think that's the reason it didn't work. Anyways, this time partner card and partner search result both, got deployed. Let's go back and then refresh. Perfect. Now you can just see this, right? There is a picture and also, there is a placeholder of a company name, partner POC, and the tech partner, badge. Correct. So now let's do few things. Let's try to, use a thumbnail instead of portrait, format, and also let's try to bring some data. Yeah, the actual data. So we'll go back to the. Yeah, we'll just go back here instead of just portrait. I'll just say thumbnail. So bring me thumbnail, and then. Now let's bring some actual data. Yeah. So I'll also try to change the look and feel. What I'll do is I'll use SLDS class, SLDS Salesforce Lightning Design Framework, and SLDS align underscore absolute center. Perfect. So I just wanted to center align the image, and then for this div, let's try to give some SLDS hyphen var hyphen margin. Let's give some margin and let it be small margin. Okay, and this company name, let it be center aligned. So I'll just again make use of SLDS right here, and what else? So let me also use our custom CSS. Okay, so if you just take a look at the custom CSS that we created, right? So that is this title. So if I use this title, the text will appear in bold, and also the text automatically changes the case to uppercase. Let me try that as well. So I'll just copy the CSS, go back to HTML, and along with the SLDS, I'll just put title as well. So this proves that we can able to use, both SLDS and our own custom CSS right together seamlessly. So that is done. And let me just do the same for the partner POC name. Yeah. And the other div, let's give some margin for the lightning badge. And also I think we should align this to the center. So let's add the same CSS right here. Copy and paste. Perfect. I think the look and feel should be fine now. Yeah. Let's go back and first deploy this code and then go back and then refresh the page. Good. Let's refresh the page. Perfect. Now we can just see this, right? This is aligned center, and also I can just see the name of the company uh, and the partner POC name both are appearing in bold, and also there is a um, there is there is this uppercase, right? Completely. Yeah. So the image, there is something wrong. Let's go back and then check. Right. I say thumb, right? I don't know. Let's cross check. Let us go back and then take a look at this documentation. Okay, I do have this. Okay, it's portraits slash thumb. Okay, let's do that. Let's see how big this one is, this particular images. So this is how it is. Or let's choose this medium sized photo. Let's see how this looks. Looks like this is good, right? So let's copy this. Let's put it right here. Let's deploy the code. Perfect. Deployment has just been completed. Let's go back to the org and refresh the page. Nice. Now I can just see the image, right? Image and also everything is properly aligned. So now let's bring the data. Okay. So the idea is, right, we wanted our partner search result to send data, right, to the partner card. So for which, so basically this is like a parent component sending data to the child. Partner search result is sending data to the child component partner card. How is it possible? Very simple. We can use @ API decorator, isn't it? So let's use this partner card. And of course, you have to first, import the API decorator. That is done. And what I'll do is I'll just expose a public property. Okay. I'll give the name of the property. Let's say this one. Let's say it's a partner account. So that's the name of the property. Okay. So this is a public property to receive data from partner search result. Yeah. So now if we go back to the partner search result, so how do we access this public property and then pass the data? Very simple. I will be using this public property as an attribute, and also, right, we have to ensure that we are following HTML standards, HTML naming convention, right, for attributes, which clearly dictates that we have to follow kebab case, and also there should be no, uppercase, right? So equal to, so I can just pass any data right here. So what I wanted to do is I just wanted to pass a data from the, which I would like to declare in the JavaScript. Okay. So back in the partner search result, I just wanted to have a property. Let's say the name of the property is account data equal to. So this is my, so this is a object, JavaScript object. Let's say the ID is 0x111, and let's say user image is user image colon. Let's pick one. Maybe I'll just choose a different one. Um, yeah, I'll use let's say 22. Yeah, that's user image. I'll just say company name. So let's say it's Oracle, and user name. Let's say it's John Doe. Yeah. So now we have a data. We have a data, right, in partner search result. I hard coded it. We will definitely change this, dynamic, so it brings the data from the database. But for now, let's see how it works with the static or hard coded data. So I have account data, and I'm going to pass this right to the child component, which is partner card. Yeah. So back in the partner card, we have this, partner account, that is a public property receiving this data. Yeah. So now let's go back. Okay, let's go back to the partner card. So it will have this information. So partner, back in the partner HTML, right? All we have to do is, instead of just hard coding the data, let's try to bring the data. Okay, or bind the data instead of hard coding it. So for image, I will be using img user image. This is the one, right? And for the company, instead of just hard coding company name, so let's bind the data. It's partner account dot, that's a company name, right? So let me copy this one from here to here. Right, good. And let's try to do the same for the partner POC name. Partner account dot user name. Perfect. And for the label again, instead of just tech partner, let's have it dot. We need to have the partner type as well. Partner type. So let's say it's a marketing partner, marketing channel partner. So done. I just hard coded this right here again. So let's save this. Let's ensure that is given. So label equal to partner account dot partner type. Perfect. So I think now we have the data coming in from the parent component, isn't it? So from which is the partner search result to partner card. So let's go back here and let's try to deploy both partner card and partner search result and see what happens. So this time, if the deployment is done, yeah, if I just refresh the page, I should see, uh, a new image and the company name as Oracle, username as John Doe, and partner type as marketing partner. Let's go back and then refresh our page. So that's it. So now you can just see how easy it is, to send data from parent component to the child component using at the rate API decorator or using this API decorator, right? So now we successfully built our partner card. So so the next step is we just wanted to bring all the partners, right, from the database and then try to replicate this partner card, right, for each partner that is for each partner in the database. So back in the accounts, if you just go back and then take a look at the partner accounts, so I have a sample 11 partner account. So I should be seeing 11 cards on the screen. Let's see how we can further build that partner search component and then make it, work for the data that is retrieved from the database. So the next one is partner search result. Let me close everything and then let's focus on building further the partner search result component.
Yeah. Now let's focus on building our partner search result. So this is what we are going to do it in the partner search result. Yeah. Number one, so we wanted to bring data from the database. That's the first thing we wanted to do in the partner search result. For which I'm going to write an Apex method that will bring all the data from the database. And then I will be using at the rate wire function to make a call to that Apex method. And then this is the key. At the rate wire will use a result, standard result object, which has two properties, data and error, to hold the data that is received from the database. So two things can happen. One, you will receive a data or it just throws an error, right? For some reasons. So in case of an error, you will find that error information, all the error information back in this error property. So this is pretty much what we are going to do. And once we have the data, then we can use HTML directive, for loop HTML directive to loop through the data that is retrieved, the bunch of records that's been retrieved from the database, and then build multiple partner cards. Yeah. So at a high level, these are the key steps that we are going to do in this Lightning Web component. So you will learn how a parent component sends data to the child, and also you will most importantly learn HTML directive, for loop HTML directive, and the wire decorator. So that's the plan. Let's move forward. And yeah, so right now I do have the partner card fine. Yeah, I have a hard-coded data. Right now, let's bring the data from the database. So for which, let's create an Apex class first. So let's name our Apex class partner search um, result controller. That's the name of my Apex class. And yeah, perfect. Now we have the class. Let's create a method, Aura enabled, and let's ensure that this is bringing the list of partner accounts. Yeah, I'll very quickly return this. Yeah, I'll just very quickly return this uh, Apex method. As you can just see, we have a get partners get partners Apex method that takes an argument partner type ID, and this is the select query. So this is the query that is going to bring data from the database. So as you can just see, this is bringing data from the account, yeah, where the partner status is active, inactive, or pending, and also it brings a lot of the information Let's go and then run this query first directly in the developer console and then see what data that we are getting. And then we can just, move forward. Right, I'm in the developer console. What I'll do is I will go to the query editor and let me just paste this and let me just run this. Okay, now you can just see this, right? This is the data that is going to be retrieved from the database. We will have all the partner accounts and the type of the partner right here. Type of the partner. Oh, all right, let's run this key. Yeah, type of the partner, other details about the partner, coordinates, what else? The primary point of contact for the partner and the partner's salutation, etc., etc. So all the good things, right? You will just see right in this query. Yeah, and back in the code. So if a partner type ID is shared, for example, right? If a partner type ID, let's say, so let's say, and partner, let's take this one. Yeah. So the idea is it will bring all the partner accounts, if the partner type ID is empty. If I pass a partner type ID, then I just wanted to ensure that only those partners, channel partners are retrieved. Let's try to execute and then see. Did I miss anything? Oh yeah, this is the problem. Let me just move this close bracket right here. Yeah, let's just try to execute this. Now you can just see this, right? It just brings me only the marketing channel partners. So based on the partner type ID, the query will also filter the channel partners. So that's why, that's the job of this Apex method. One thing that we have to remember is when we want our Apex method to be exposed or use it in Lightning Web Component, we have to use @Aura enabled annotation. And also this is a select query. We will ensure that the data is cached. Yeah, so that it avoids multiple round trips to the database. So we're also saying cacheable equal to true. So now let's see how we can use this Apex method back in our partner search result JavaScript file. So let me just right click, split this window, and let me do this first. Let's say the very first thing is I'm just going to use wire decorator. That's the first thing. And number two, import, I will give a friendly name, fetch partner types, and an alias name for my get partners Apex method. I'll just say from the Salesforce Apex package module. I'll just say this is the yeah. So this is the name of the class file, and this is the name of the method. That's all it is. So now I've just imported, using this Salesforce Apex module, I just imported get partners Apex method. So part of my work is done. Now let's try to make a call to Apex method. So let's see how we will do it, which is fairly simple. So we'll just use @wire function. The very first parameter is the method name. So I can use the alias name that I use in the import statement, and then I can just pass input parameters. Yeah. So in this case, our input parameter is partner type ID, isn't it? So let's try to use the exact parameter name. So it follows JSON, object format. Yeah, use a curly brace and then give the exact parameter name, and then let's pass the value. So what we can do is let's have a property with the name mm, partner account type ID, Oh, sorry, not account type ID. It's partner. I'll just say channel partner type ID. Yeah. So let it be empty to start with the default value, and let's pass this. Yeah, as an argument. Now you can just see the syntax as well, right? So this is how we refer or pass a variable value dynamically to the wire function. So now the wire function has just invoked the apex method, and I can just process the output. I can assign that, output to a function or a property. I'm going to use a function. Let's say I name my function as process output, and this function will use the two system variables, system properties rather. It's data and error. So, so this is the one that's going to help us. That's going to help us to read the data that's coming from the database. So I'll just do a sanity check if there is a data or if there is an error. So let's see if there is a data. Let's first try to put that in the console. Yeah, data from DB. I'll use JSON stringify to just convert the data into a string. In case of an error, let's first say that just say there is an error for now. Later we can just use other methods to capture the error in a better way and then show it on the screen. Yeah. For now, this is the change that we have just done. So let's see how this works first, then we can just further move forward. Yeah. So we'll save this. We'll try to deploy the source to the org. We'll wait for the deployment to complete. Unable to find the Apex action class reference. Okay, looks like I did not deploy the class file. So let's first deploy the class file. Okay, now the controller file has just been deployed. Yeah, there is a search result controller file. Now let's go back and then deploy the component. Perfect. So now this is cool. So the component is also just been deployed. Let's go back and then refresh the page. So let's look into the console and then see if we find the data coming in from the database. Yes, looks like we got all the data that is coming in from the database. You can just see this, right? This is also an array, of objects. So what we can do is we can just quickly let's copy this data and let's try to use one of the JSON online formatter to see the data in a format that we can understand. Looks like I did not copy the entire output. Let's do that. Is there a problem? Okay, let's copy this. Show more. Yes. Let me copy this. Go back here. Okay, did I not copy the entire data? Let's cross check. Let me copy this again. Copy, go back to the formatter, delete the existing one. Let's paste this. Now it's coming up. So as you can just see this, right? So this is how each record appears in the JSON format. So each record is is shown as an object, yeah, in the array of objects. So you can just find this is about Cisco partner, all the details, and you have associated contacts and the type of the partner, the primary POC, James Peterson, his salutation, and this ID. So this is about the next card partner, channel partner, and this is about Microsoft. So you'll find all the data right here. So which means we managed to bring the data from the database. Let us go back and then further continue with our coding. So now for each partner that has been retrieved from the database, we just wanted to replicate this card. So you have a collection of records. We wanted to, loop through that collection and then have each partner card created, for a partner, right? So for which let us use for loop HTML directive. So before I do that, let me ensure that this data is copied to a local property. So I'll have something called partner um, partner data from DB. I'll just name this property this way. Yeah, local property to hold all partners from DB. Yeah. So let's use this, and this one I'll just comment this out. I will just assign the start partner DB is equal to data. Okay, so basically you're just copying the data. Copy the data. Okay, that's all it is. So now I can so let's go to the yeah so let us go to the HTML, and what we can do is let us loop through collection of data and pass each item or each partner record data, each partner record to partner card to display the information. Okay, this is what we're going to do it, which is fairly simple. What we can do is we can just simply use our template tag, and I will just say for each. So I do have all the data stored in this partner data from database, isn't it? So I'll just say use this collection and then start looping through. And for each item, let's give a for each record or for each partner, let's give a name, a temporary name. I'll just say partner. Yeah, and I would like to see, and then let's have so let's have a div, and then let's say for each partner record, let's say there is a let's use any unique field name. Yeah? Partner dot id, because let's copy this, let's put it right here, because we know that for each record that is coming from the database, one of the field that is carrying unique value is ID, right? So this is for Cisco, and this is for Tex, and this is for Microsoft, right? So let's use this to uniquely identify, or let's assign this unique key to each partner card. Okay, so that's the idea. Let's go back and we'll just say that's the key. Yes, I should not use double quote, right? So that's it. So once this is done, I can just simply move this to partner card component inside this. That's all it is. And now I just wanted to pass this entire partner data. So far, we managed to pass the hard-coded data, right? This account data. This is no longer needed. So I'll just pass this partner, the entire record. So I'll just comment this out. We don't need this now. That's it. So that's it. This will send all the information, basically each record to the partner card. Now, there is a bit of change that we have to do at the partner card end. So what I'll do is I'll go back to the partner card. This is the one, right? So back in the partner card earlier, it was just using these keys, right? User image, company name, username to bind the data back in the page, correct? So now, we are not are hard coding the data. So what we should do is we should just use the exact field API names that is used in your SOQL query, or you can just, cross check what value is coming from the database, right, in our code. So these are the keys now, and this is the value. So if you want to just take the partner, or let's say the company name, right, I'll just use this key. If you want to bring the partner POC, yeah. So what I can do is I can just go right here, partner underscore primary underscore POC underscore R, and then get the name from here. If you want to get the type of the partner, I can just, use this key dot name and then get the technology partner. So let's see how we can further, change this one. Okay. For now, I don't think we have a user image stored. So I'll just go back and then hard code this for now. Okay. Or leave this empty. And back in this one, what we wanted to do was just we wanted to begin the company name, right? So which you will find it or access it using this key. And for the partner account username, okay, what is the partners POC name? So I'll go here, partner POC underscore R dot the name of the person, James Peterson. And for the partner type, let's start from the root and then let's go to this dot and the name. That's it. So we managed to bring the partner POC name and partner type and also the name of the channel partner, basically the company name. So for the image, we don't have any information, isn't it? So what we can do is for now, at least for now, right? Um, let's try to use some random image. Yeah. And let's see how we can write our own logic to bring the image dynamically. Yeah. So for now, let's hard code and then see how it works. Then we can move forward. So let me first deploy this to the org. Perfect. Let's go back and then refresh this page, see what happens. So let's first empty the cache. Okay, something is wrong. Cannot read properties of undefined name. Okay, somewhere in our code, we are missing. Something. Let's go back to the code. So this is where we are using name. Is there a problem in getting this used? Let's cross check. Or why is it happening? Let's redeploy because I made a change in both the files and let's choose partner card and partner search result. Let's right click and then deploy. Let's wait for the deployment to complete again. Okay, now I see both partner card and partner search result both have been deployed. Let's just refresh and see what happens. That was a deployment issue. It didn't, deploy properly last time. It was just deploying only the partner card. So now I just deployed both the components and now I can just see the output is coming up, right? So this is fine. We hard coded the image, so it is appearing, it is appearing, the same image is appearing again and again. But you can just see this, right? These values are coming in from the database, isn't it? So perfect. I think now we got the value coming in from the database. So let's do this one last thing, and then we'll further proceed. So I just wanted to change the look and feel of this data, look and feel of this partner search result. instead of just showing all the partner cards one below the other, I just wanted to make a grid, right? So for which I'm going to use the lightning layout component. So which is fairly simple. So I will first, okay, for each partners that is returned, that is retrieved from the database, what I want to do is I just wanted to start with the lightning layout. Yeah. And each lightning layout can have a lightning layout item, so basically a column. Yeah, imagine I'm just building a table and then each column, for creating each column I'm using lightning layout item. Yeah. So one thing that I wanted to do is I just wanted to use this attribute multiple rows. So if say multiple rows, then you know the data will start appearing in rows. Also, I'll just say horizontal align is also center. So this will ensure that my data is going to be shown not in the vertical form but in the horizontal form. And then the layout item, let's have this. So let's first try to um, loop through the collection. Let's do that. So as we loop through the collection, yeah, I want to I want each partner card to be created as we loop through the connection. So I'll just move this code right into this. That's all it is. And I don't need this div anymore. I'll just use lightning layout and I just have this key attribute added. That's all it is. See? So instead of div, I just managed to move that code right into this lightning layout. That's all I just did. And let's ensure that alignment, everything is corrected. Let's give some padding. So let's ensure that there is a small padding, round small, and let's give a fixed size to each, to each to the partner card that is going to appear inside the lightning layout item. So the size is 12 for a small device. I'll just set size as 6s, and for large device, so let's set the size as 3 or 4. Yeah, 3. For medium, let's set the size 4. Okay, so this way I can make my component responsive across devices as well. So that is also taken care. Yeah. So now the aesthetic changes are done. Let's first format this and then let's try to deploy. Cool. Let's go back to the page. Let's refresh. So now you can just see this, right? Automatically, the look and feel has changed, or the orientation has changed, right? Instead of just showing all the cards vertically, now I can just see all the cards appearing, horizontal, right, in the rows, correct? So this is pretty much, done. So I think we can do some sanity things, sanity checks. What if there is no partner data? Yeah. Uh, Yes. So what if there is no partner, channel partners? So what if there is no data? I want to show a nice message to the user saying that there are no partners found, and then, otherwise I'll just show all the partners. So for which again I can use HTML directive. Yeah. So very simple logic. I'll go to the search result and we have a data coming in from the database, right? So let's introduce a new property. Let's say is partners found. Okay. So I'll just say if this dot partners found is not equal to null, and this dot partners from db dot length, you know um, length is greater than 0, yeah, which means that is some data, right? Then return true, otherwise return false. So this is my simple, logic in a property. I'll make use of this and then decide whether to show this particular, whether to show, a message to the user when no partners are found, or show the list of partners. So what I can do is, so in the lightning layout, let's say, let's use a template. Okay, I'll just say if true, if this value is true, if this partners found is true, then show data. If not, if false, yeah, if this is a false, then let's have a paragraph tag and then say no partners found. For now, let's just throw this message. Now show data. I will simply move this code from here into this template. That's all it is. See how we are just improvising our code. So that's it. Okay. So let's go back and then let's deploy this again. Good. So the deployment has just been completed. The next thing what we wanted to do was we wanted to give a different color to the channel partners. You can just see this, right? All the channel partners are appearing on the same color. For example, the badge. So I want to give two different colors for channel for tech. Basically, organize the partners, by giving a color. So technology partner badge, let's give green color, and marketing partner, let's give orange or something, just to explicitly say that hey, these are the marketing partners available, these are the channel partners available, these are the legal partners available. Number one. Number two, we also wanted to write a simple logic to dynamically bring uh, an image based on the name of the or basically the gender. We'll use the gender and then bring image dynamically. For James Peterson, we'll just use just bring a JPEG of a man's picture, and then for let's say Samira Reddy, we'll just use the collection from women, yeah, from the women random user, and then have a image added. So that's the next step that we are going to do. Yeah, for now we managed to uh, use wire decorator to bring the data from the database, number one, and then we managed to use the for loop HTML directive to loop through the collection of data, right? And also, as we loop through each record, we are passing that record to the child component, and the child component uses that record and then renders the data back in the screen. And finally, we are using lightning layout tag, and then we are just showing all the data right in a nice grid format, right? And also this is responsive in design. So I'll just quickly show you that since we're using lightning layout, right? So this is my desktop view. If I just use a simulator to see how this page will look like in iPhone SE, yeah, you can just see this, right? Automatically, the partner card is rearranged, and then I can just see one partner card right here. So let's see how this will look like in iPad Air. So just choose. So this is how it will look like. You can just see only, the three partner cards. So you just, so we just made our page, responsive enough to work across devices, which is fairly simple. We did not do any, any additional code, additional CSS code. We just used lightning layout, and then we just created, fixed size. That's all we did, isn't it? So now let's focus on changing, or writing our own logic to bring a image dynamically for each partner, right? And also write a logic to give a different look and feel for this batch, the channel partners batch.
Yeah, now we are going to focus on changing this badge style dynamically. So the idea is we do have multiple partner types, channel partner types, right? You can see technology partners, multiple technology partners, and few marketing partners, right? How about giving a different color to this text or to this badge, basically the lightning badge component, so that I can able to categorize how many partners are there in marketing category, and how many channel partners are in technology partner category, so on and so forth. So for which, I want to change the color of this, or give a different style to the lightning badge component. So this is what we're going to do it now, dynamic CSS, and let's try to use a lifecycle hook, and also use Open API random user to show images dynamically. So we'll come to that. First, let's focus on the CSS part, and then we'll come to uh, the image, bringing image dynamically, right, from the random user API. Let's come to that later. So if I go back to the code, so this is my lightning patch, right? This is what is showing like the channel partner type, isn't it? So we're gonna assign a style dynamically. So for which, let's say there is a new class I'm gonna introduce, and instead of just hard coding something, I will be passing the class dynamically. So let's use data binding, and let's say channel partner class. Our channel partner style is what I now give a name to my class. I'll first expose this property to hold class for um, partner type. So let's have this one. So now let's see how we can further build a class for this. Um, so for which I'm going to use one of the lifecycle hooks, connected callback, and the code that I'm going to write inside connected callback gets called when this particular component, the partner card, is inserted into the document. Yeah, so it's basically a callback method at the end of the day. Yeah, it just gets called when this component is inserted into the document. The very first thing what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a call um, to get partner type style function. So I'm going to write my own function. So I'll name this function as get partner type style, right? All right. Let it take an input parameter. Let's say it takes partner type. I'm going to use switch case. I'll just say if partner type value is technology partner, then I would like to assign channel partner style to be this dot channel partner style SLDS hyphen. Let's use our SFDS, SLDS, and let's use a success theme so that it will appear in green color. Let's try to apply the same for other. Okay, so far so on so forth, we can just able to add additional partners. This is for marketing partner. Let me do it for social media channel partner, and for this one I'm just going to say show info, and for social media channel partner I will just have the inverse, and for the default one let's have it this way, show in three color. So that's it. For now, let's do it for the three types, and then remaining channel partner types. Let's give a default color. So this is what I would like to do it. Okay, now the code alignment has also been done. So let's simply call this function this dot get partner type style, and we should also pass the partner type, isn't it? That is also that is the input parameter, isn't it? So let's pass that information as well. Okay, so what I can do is I can just simply copy this from here. Simply pass the partner type value. That's all it is. Okay, so that is pretty much done. And let's try to deploy the source to the org. Good, it's just been deployed, and let's try to go back and then refresh. Good. Now we can just see this, right? There are different, styles have been applied. So you can just see all the technology partners having the badge for the technology partner is green in color, and for the marketing partner, you have a different color. So this way you can able to quickly differentiate, differentiate partners or quickly categorize the partners. Good. So now let's try to apply, similar logic for showing right image for each channel partner. So the idea is to go by the salutation or the gender of each channel partner POC, primary POC. James Peterson, the salutation for James Peterson is Mr. and for Kiara it is Miss, and for Sultana it is Miss. So based on the salutation, I'm just going to create I'm going to pick the image randomly from the API, random user API. Okay, so that's the brief idea. Let's see how we can do it very quickly. So just like this, I'm gonna have a function called get user image, and let's say it takes salutation as input, and let's have a switch case, and let's say if salutation is Mr. Yeah, then I would like to have an image URL. Let's have user image property. So this is to hold a property to hold user image URL. Yeah. So URL kind of this. Let's copy this. Let's go back here. Yeah. This dot user image URL is equal to. Of course, I can have the random user API to bring me a random image. HTTPS random user.me slash API slash portraits slash let's have a medium size image for men, and let's bring an image dot jpg. Yeah, and there are two things we have to do it. One is I don't want to hard code this number. I want to randomly generate some number so that I can see a different image for each partner, right? So for which what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use I'm going to first generate a random ID, yeah, using math.random. Yeah, so using math.random, I would like to generate a number, and then I would like to have this number multiplied by, because math.random will give me a number in decimals, and I want to convert that. I want to multiply that with 100, so that I can just take only the whole whole digit, from the decimal number. So for which to get the whole number, I'll use math.flow, from the output. So this will give me a nice random number. So to demonstrate this, what I can do is I can just simply go here. So let's clear this one. Copy. You can just see this, right? If I just call this every time I get a different number, right? So a random number. So this is what I just wanted to use it. And why? So I can just use this random ID. back in this place instead of hard coding the number, right? So let's use string literal instead of just using this. Let's use string literal. So I will be using backtick and right here. Let's append this random ID. That's it. We are done. So let's try to apply the same for the other one, which is miss. And then let's have a image for women. Yeah. So for default one, what I'll probably do is I will bring something from our lightning design system. Lightning design system.com. There are plenty of assets available, and I'm gonna just use one of the assets, images avatar 2. Let's see dot jpg. So basically, that if something goes wrong with this random user me, it will simply bring the default image for me. Okay, so let's save and let's also format this document first. Yeah, alignment is corrected, and now let's try to deploy. Or before I do this one, let me just simply call this first, this dot user image, and of course I have to pass the salutation, isn't it? So um, so let's quickly check the salutation property. Where is it? Let's see. Yeah. So this dot. Uh, so I do have a partner POC name, isn't it? So I'm gonna instead of name, I will be passing salutation. All right, I think this is done. All right, let's try to get user image is fine. This will assign this to the user image, and this is what I'm going to use back in the yeah back in the HTML. Instead of hard coding this, let's use the URL that is dynamically generated. Let's save everything and then try to deploy. Okay, let's wait for the deployment to complete. Perfect. Let's go back to the code. Let's refresh the page. Okay, let me just clear the cache. Good, now you can just see this, right? You can find random image appearing based on the salutation of each primary POC. Isn't it great? Good. So now this is also corrected. So what did we just do? We used of course, one of the lifecycle use connected callback to make a call to a couple of functions, and each function will do, or for the first function will dynamically change the style for an element, right? So that is possible. The second one will just make a call to the open API and then bring images dynamically, correct? So that's it. Let's do a quick sanity. Yeah, let's quickly, set a default image when we declare this property. Okay, and also let's define a default partner style, just just in case if this um, code did not work, let's have some default style and an image URL, okay, so that our code will not break. Okay, sanity thing. So let's deploy this now. Good. So now we are pretty much done with this partner search result, this entire logic itself. Now the next thing is the last thing in this part one is if I choose a particular partner type, right, channel partner, then I want the uh, partners list to be refreshed or filtered based on what I choose in the drop down. Okay, let's see how we can do it, and yeah, how we can do it, and then we can move forward to the next one, which is the part two of our project. Okay, first let's focus on this. Okay, and move forward. All right, now let's bring all the components together. Yeah, especially on change of the marketing, change of channel partner combo box. We wanted to refresh the list of available partners, isn't it? So let's go back to the design once and then see how the components are positioned in our or positioned on the Lightning app page. So as you can just see, master container is the one which is holding the component partner search, right, and partner search result. So if I find a way to share data from this child component, so partner search and partner search result both are the child components of master container, right, which is the parent component here. So if I find a way to share data from partner search to partner search result from this child component to this child component, then I can able to refresh the results, isn't it, based on the channel partner being selected in partner search. So for this one, right, the one common connection between partner search and partner search result is the master container. Other than that, both are independent components, right? But there is one common connection, which is master container. So we're going to use this design as for our leverage, as a leverage to, share data between the two components, partner search and partner search result. How? Let's look at this simple design. So basically, it's going to be a two-step approach, very simple. We're going to use both custom events and API decorator, the public property. So both the concepts to get this achieved. So two steps. Step one, from partner search. Whenever a user chooses a channel partner, we would like to use custom events to send the selected partner type ID to the master container using custom events. So this is, sending data from the child component to the parent component, right? As soon as the master container receives the data, then it can use a public property. It can use API decorator as in, public property concept to send data, from here to the partner search result. That's all it is. That is our step two, as you can just see. Using API decorator, we can share the selected partner type ID to the partner search result. And back in the partner search result, the code has already been written. Once it receives a partner type ID, then automatically, right, that Apex method, will simply, bring only the matching channel partners. Yeah, so that's what we're going to do it very quickly. Let's start with the partner search and then first, use custom events and then send the selected partner type ID to the master container. So I'll go back to the code. We'll just start with the partner search first. Right here. Perfect. So, and also we'll bring the HTML. And the very first thing what I wanted to do is I just wanted to ensure the selected partner type, the ID of the selected partner type, right? The channel partner type is being captured. So we have this on change, isn't it? So let me just go to this handle change right here, isn't it? So let's have a constant partner type ID equal to. So whenever the user changes a channel partner in the dropdown, certainly this will trigger an event, isn't it? So from that event, so we have this detail property, and then we can just get the current value. So this will ensure that get selected channel partner type ID. So now we have the information, right? So what I will do is I will simply create a custom event. So create and dispatch custom event so that selected channel partner type ID is shared or is sent to master container component. So this is what we're going to do it. Just 2 lines of code is what we're gonna write. So I'll just say constant. I'll give a name, partner type selected change event equal to new custom type. It's a class, new custom event, and this will take 2 parameters. Number one, event name. Just like on click, on change, on double click, on mouse over it, I'm gonna create or I'm gonna give a custom name to my event. So in our case, let's choose our own event name. So let's give selected partner type. Yeah, that's going to be the name of my event, comma. And let's pass the data that we wanted to send from our child component to the parent component, which is fairly simple. So we do have this detail property, and then we can just simply send the data, which is this. So let's just send this information. Yeah. Once a custom event is created, all we have to do is we simply have to dispatch this event. So for which we do have a dispatch event, and let's simply dispatch event, and let's pass the event which we just created. So that's all it is. We are done. So now we know the event has been dispatched. When the event is fired, it will carry the partner type ID. So this is what we are going to use it. The step one is completed. This is what we are going to use it back in the master container. Let's see how master container receives this data and then pass it back to the partner search result. Yeah. So this is done. Let's first save this. Let's deploy this first and then see if there are any compilation errors. Perfect. So there are no errors. All good. Let me close this one. Let's bring the master container now. So let's bring the JavaScript. Let's also bring the HTML. To start with, let's go to the HTML. And back in the HTML, what I'm going to do is I am going to receive this data, isn't it? Receive the data that is sent by the partner search, isn't it? So partner search, as we just exposed a custom event. Let's copy the custom event. Let's go back here. Since this is an event, right? A custom event, let's handle the way how we typically handle standard events like on change, on click. So all the events should prefix with on. So I'll just go with on as a prefix and then simply paste that event, the custom event that has been exposed. Yeah. And once the event is triggered, right? I just wanted to hand over you know, that event, hand over that event, hand over processing that event to a function. Let's say I have a function called a handle selected partner type event. So that's the name of my function. Let's copy this. Let's go to the master container. Let's simply handle the event. Okay, so I would like to introduce a new property with the name selected partner type ID. Yeah. So this is the name of the property. Right, let's say by default it is empty, and as soon as the event was fired from the child component, I would like to read the value and store it back in the property. So this is what is going to happen. As you know, partner search, yeah, partner search is passing this data, isn't it? Partner type ID, and you will find or you will be able to read that value using our detail property. That's it. So selected ID is done. Selected partner type ID is done. So now all we have to do is we just have to pass this information back to the next component, partner search result. So let's do that as well. So let's focus on step 2. What is step 2? It's like using API decorator and share selected partner type ID to partner search result. Okay, let's first let's first deploy the changes. Okay, and then see if there are any compilation errors. I hope there shouldn't be. Let's go wait and then see. Yeah, so it's just been deployed successfully. Let us go back and then go and then find our partner search result. This is where it is, right? So partner search result JS. All right. So what I would like to do is I would like to introduce a public property, and for which let's first add the decorator, and then so this is where we have the channel partner ID, right? Partner type ID. So simply expose this channel partner type ID, right, as an API public property. So this is my public property that receives a selected partner type ID, right? So I don't think I need to initialize this value as an empty. So now right now this is a public property, right? So let's use this back in our master container. So in the master container, right here in the HTML, let's use this public property. I'll copy this one and then put it right here. Yeah. So let's follow HTML standards and also kebab case, which is kebab case, right? So each word is going to be separated by the delimited hyphen, and also yeah, let me do this. So this will be two. Let me change the property name for a bit. Instead of this, I'll just use a lowercase. Yeah. So ID, and you have type, you have partner. Perfect. So the value to this property is going to come from the JS controller. So what I'll do is in the master container, if you just take a look, so this is where we are holding the selected partner type ID, right? So we'll just simply pass that information to the partner search result. That's all it is. So we just exposed a public property in the child component, and then back in the parent component we are using the child property as an attribute and then sending the data, right? So that's it. So this is also done. So let's try to deploy this. So we just completed both the steps. Now it is time to test whether it works or not. So deployment has been completed. Let's go back and then refresh this page. To be on the safer side, let me, okay, looks like some error. Unknown property channel partner type ID. Okay, let's try to, there is some issue with the deployment, in the code builder. I made a change in the partner search result, yeah, but that did not get deployed. Let's try to deploy this again. Right click, deploy source to org, and also there is a spelling error. Partner type ID, it's not D, it's B. Yeah, good. So let me deploy that as well. So both partner search result and partner and master container both have been deployed. Let's go back now and let's refresh the page and at the same time clear the cache. Let's see what happens. Good. So now, it just started working. Let's try to select marketing partner, and you can just see this, right? It just shows only the marketing partner. If I just choose something else, it just shows no partners found. If I choose technology partner, I'll just see only the technology partners. Yeah. So this way, and by default, it will show all the partners for me. So this way, we can able to bring all the components together, all right? And based on the partner type being selected, the available partners are shown in this component, right? So in summary, this is what we have done. Yeah, we managed to use custom events to send data from the child component to the parent component,
And also we used at the rate API, basically the API decorator, a public property, right, to to receive data, from a parent component to the child component. So this way, yeah, we managed to build our part one of our project. So going forward, let us focus on part two of our project, where when I click on a particular partner, I want to see more details about the partner. Not only that, I want to see the partner POC's location, and also I should give an ability to the sales team to provide review about the partner. So that's part two of our project. We will just focus on in the next video.